What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Dear Critics Review. This time we're looking at Q4 2021. And of course, we've got a big show to break down. A lot of games, I think 22, 21 games released this quarter. So joining me this episode, Adam Southerland. How you doing, buddy?
Let's go. Hey, I've got opinions. It's Festivus season. If you're familiar with Seinfeld, I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're about to hear about it.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Adam, everyone wants to know the question of the hour. Do you have your Christmas shopping done?
Yeah, I guess so. We buy gifts, but we're trying not to go nuts with all of our kids, and they've got so much stuff already. So I think we're good. I think stocking stuffers is what we've got left. And that's usually just like candy and stuff like that. So
excellent. Yeah. There is a particular game that came out this quarter on your roster that is sitting under the tree for one of my kids right now. We may get into that. But anyway, let's go down the standings as it sits right now. Like I said, looking at Q4. So this is it. And congratulations to Alex Castellanos, Jersey Recon Studios, taking the top spot with 129 fantasy points. I believe all of his games have released, so that is his final score. Fantastic score there for Alex, taking the number one spot. And really, I got to be honest, we're recording this on December 15th. It's not quite yet decided who's going to be second place. But as it sits right now, we've got Nate Beatdown Games in second, 67 points. Marshall Empowerful Games, 65 points in third. In fourth place, Bearded Brethren, 64 points. In fifth place, Boomstick Games, 62. Sixth place, Crystal Cross Games with 58 points. Seventh place, Luke King Games with 56 points. In seventh place, eighth place, Doug's Vest Digital, 31 points, and ninth place, Wolfpack Initiative with 18. Man, from number 2 to number 7 down, that is all packed in. It's about 10 fantasy point difference right there. Adam, what do you think about all that?
No, I think it's pretty presumptuous of you to think that the gunk couldn't get me 50, 60 points. The first ever 140 point game. So a little presumptuous, but I guess we can go ahead and crown Alex now. But
yeah, I think
all of it.
We'll get into the second place debate and talking a little bit of the gunk later. But yeah, so we've got, like I said, about 20 something games that came out in the quarter. Of course, the fourth quarter is always big for the year. So let me just go ahead and quickly just run down the list of all the games released this quarter, starting with the one that released first. So here we go. New World, Jet, The Far Shore, Far Cry 6, Metroid Dread, Back for Blood, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Empires 4, Riders Republic, Mario Party Superstars, Call of Duty Vanguard, Forza Horizon 5, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Ruined King, Battlefield 2042, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Danganronpa S, Chorus, Solar Ash, Wolfstride, Halo Infinite, and Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Man, oh man, big quarter there, Adam. Let's go ahead and jump into your roster, man. You had a pretty big quarter yourself. 3 games released for you this quarter. Far Cry 6 got you 77, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond 75, and the big one of the bunch, Mario Party Superstars, getting you an 80. How you feeling after this quarter? I know we got the gunk waiting in the wings.
I felt better when the reviews started coming out, because all of them, they all started at an 80. Far Cry was like an 80, 81 at first. Even Pokemon was, I think, like a 80. And then as more slowly have come out, they've dropped. I failed at the Castellanos scale of an 80 on all my games.
How could you?
So that was a major bummer. Because there for a while I was cruising.
Yeah.
My average game was going to be right around that 10 mark for a long time, and it may still finish near that, maybe not quite, more like a 9. But the best thing that's been for my team is I've not had, other than my counter, which I learned my lesson. I'm ready for next year. Pick a game you don't think is going to come out, because the odds of hitting a game a negative is it's just hard. I mean, to pick the one that's going to go negative. So you almost rather have 0 than even taking a chance at going -5, because hitting a high negative is kind of hard to come back from. And that, I mean, me and Nate for sure
Yeah.
had that, and Luke even also. I mean, I guess there was a couple. I mean, if you look at, I think if you look at the counter picks, you have more negative games than probably positives,
Mhm.
and then you have a lot of did not releases. So I kind of learned my lesson there, but I'm not mad about the games that I've picked up. I Mario Superstars, I felt pretty confident about once I looked up. If Super Mario Party could get a 75, I felt pretty good about Superstars because it was supposed to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
So I felt good about that. Pokemons traditionally are going to be at least a 70 and above. So I wasn't really thinking I would go negative. I
Mhm.
was hoping more near an 80, of course. And then Far Cry, that one was kind of a wild card. You never know. Again,
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to straight up bomb, but some of those games that come out almost every year, you just never know how the fan base is going to respond to it. So again, I felt better when it was an 80 instead of the 77, but still
Mhm.
7 points isn't bad. And again, I'm feeling good about the gunk. The preview's looking nice. A lot of people seem positive on it. We'll see. Again, I think I could be in a good spot to jump up to number 2, but we'll see. It was big when a game didn't come out for Nate, Ali Ali World, when they announced that today at the Indie World,
Right.
Nintendo Indie World or whatever they call it, because that game is probably going to review pretty good, and
Mhm.
that might have put him out of reach. But getting a February date
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
was
I'm,
pretty
I'm looking
helpful
at your
for.
entire roster here on the website, and your only 2 games that released that were below an 80 were the 2 that just came out for Far Cry and Pokemon. Everything else, you hit the Alex Castellanos standard. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so really fantastic work there overall. So yeah, moving on to Doug's Vest Digital. I also had a handful of releases. Halo Infinite being the biggest, of course, the kind of that first rounder, that juggernaut that everyone was waiting for at the end of the year. Got me an 87. Actually, I have an 86 here. I know it actually got 87 though. Updated on Open Critic. I had Jet the Far Shore, kind of an indie game from the developers of Sword and Sorcery, Super Brothers. Only got a 66. And a Battlefield 2042 got me a 65. Man, I thought there was some pre-release hype for Battlefield 2042 that I got on board with. And I got tricked big time, man. I should have known EA wasn't going to stick the landing and there's going to be major issues at launch. And that's what dragged it down. I think it started with better reviews and just slowly went down
Yeah,
and down and down. I don't think
it's
Jet
it's
ever had a
hard when you get it doesn't have a story, right? It's just straight online, if I'm
I think
remembering
so,
right.
right.
That's hard, even when reviewers know it. Having
Mhm.
that in the back of their mind is still pretty hard. So I think that definitely didn't help. It
Mhm.
maybe didn't hurt it, but it didn't help.
Yeah. Yeah. So Halo Infinite is the big game for me. I was waiting for it the whole year. It delivered. It got me an 87. You want your first round pick to be an 85 or higher. And so it met that criteria. No, it didn't get the 90 like I was hoping. But an 87 is certainly great. And one of the top scoring games of the year. Just unfortunately, there's nothing that's going to help my team at this point. I am at the bottom of the barrel, kind of swimming around down there with Jeff. No hope for Doug's Vest Digital. So, any final thoughts on my roster before we move on?
No, I mean Halo Infinite in general, I'm enjoying the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
It is more Halo, but it's better Halo than it's been. So I haven't got to the campaign, and I'm kind of torn because we're going to be gone for like 9-10 days back in Michigan visiting family. And so I'm like, if I started, I want to finish it before we leave, and I don't know if I'm going to. So I might have to wait till I even get back from vacation to bust it out. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it. I've played more multiplayer since Halo Infinite's come out that I've played online with people in a long time.
Awesome.
And so I'm enjoying it. Is it my game of the year? No, but I don't know. There's just something. It's in that. It's got the eye of everybody, and people who I didn't even know were gamers are playing Halo. So
It
it's got the attention. So I'm enjoying the time I've got with it.
I've actually not jumped into it yet. I'm really eager to, but it has given me the Halo bug. I'm going back and playing the older Halo campaigns. I want to get ready for this campaign. So when the co-op, patch drops for Halo Infinite, I'm gonna be jumping right in there and playing it, and that'll be my first experience with co-op. So that'll be
Mhm.
cool. But yeah, real quick, let me ask you, since you had some time with it, the 87 Open Critic score. Do you agree with it? Would you give it that score?
Now again, I haven't done the campaign.
Oh,
The
okay. Okay.
the multiplayer is good. Here's my Halo
Okay,
spiel.
let's hear it.
Halo hasn't really changed since Halo 3. It gets prettier, it gets smoother. They add a grappling hook. They do small things, but what has really, and maybe the Halo fans in the world are losing their mind right now, but not a lot has really changed. Some people may say if it's not broke, don't fix it. But like when I play it online, I'm enjoying it, but it's like the fact when I play online, if you don't know where certain guns are, I'm stuck with a battle rifle the whole time I'm playing ranked. That I can't stand that. When you're playing just, quick play, you start with your just assault rifle, whatever it's called, not the battle rifle, yeah, whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
the normal gun, assault rifle maybe. Unless you know where guns are and the timer, that part feels just off to me in today's multiplayer space. But
Okay.
again, I'm enjoying it nonetheless. But combat evolved has not evolved in 10 years.
Mm,
So, but it's fun. Again, there is a fun gameplay loop there. It
yeah.
just, I don't know. I want more or something different at least, and I don't. But I'm not the diehard Halo fan. So the diehards are probably, well, they are. I mean, the score shows it. The reviews online show it. People are enjoying it, and that's in the end what you want. It's just not, again, like I said, the combat's not, in my opinion, evolving very much. It feels like I'm in college playing Halo still, just with different maps and better graphics. So
Gotcha.
that's my Halo 2 cents.
Okay. Well, maybe diving into the campaign will change that opinion a little bit. But yeah, I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the lineups across the league. And we will start with Lou King Games. He had 4 games released this quarter. New World got him a 70 right at the beginning. I think that dropped right after Nate and I recorded last episode, like the day of the reviews came out, or
Didn't
that
it
day
start
after.
higher? Didn't it start higher also and then drop? Everyone was like, "Oh, it's doing really good," and it was like,
Yeah.
"What just happened?"
Yeah, so got him just a net 0 there for New World. Age of Empires 4, 83, classic franchise there, getting him a good score there. He had Ruined King, League of Legends story, got him an 81, and then kind of the game of the quarter, really the game of the year as far as score goes. Forza Horizon 5 got him a 92. Adam, I think we've both been playing some Forza. Let's talk about that briefly. How you
Yeah,
feeling about Forza?
it's my first Forza I've ever played, and so it's the game that if I've got 10 minutes, I'll just jump in and drive around.
Yeah, same.
Which maybe eventually that'll lead to me actually finishing the story. I'm not really like chasing all the different records or things like that. I just enjoy jumping in. I'll do a race or two and then I'll turn it off. It
Hmm.
looks great. I mean, again, I'm not a huge racing game, but I'm a racing gamer. But I'm really enjoying my time. Uh, Logan loves Forza and has always hyped it up, and so I've definitely enjoyed the time. I could see it being a game that sticks around on my Xbox. And the little boy that we're fostering right now loves cars. So
Awesome.
sometimes I'll just pull that up and do a race or two. It doesn't keep his attention that well. But he'll be like, oh, truck or car. And he'll watch a little bit of it and then I'll need to turn off. But yeah, it's definitely, I've been impressed. It's a great game.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Luke is going to be sitting there pretty much, he's right above me, but he's in that batch with everyone else who's kind of very close to make a statement for second. But I think his team is about tapped out. And yeah, so good quarter there for Luke. Shout out to Forza Horizon 5. All right, next up, beatdown games. Nate McKeever had 3 games released this quarter. The big one being Metroid Dread, getting an 87. He had Shin Megami Tensei 5, get him an 86. And then Solar Ash, the indie game from the Hyperlight Drifter studio, got him a 78. So all quite respectable scores. I'm going to focus in on Metroid
Mhm.
Dread. This seems to be like Metroid's back. I personally haven't played it yet. Adam, I don't know if you've had a chance to dig into it at all, but man, everyone seems to be going ape over this game. So 87 for Metroid. What do you think about Beatdown Games' roster here?
Yeah, I forgot. We put down the games that we played this year. I forgot what games came out when, but yeah, I played Metroid Dread. I finished it. Really good game. Again, I'm not. It's the first Metroid game I've ever finished. I played some Metroid Prime on the GameCube, hit a glitch, never finished it, which was infuriating at the time when I was playing it.
Mm,
I've played Super Metroid here and there on like the NES Classic or SNES Classic, but this is the first one that I finished, and I mean, I was impressed. I had a really good time with it. I think I was messaging Logan. It was just the right amount of difficulty. It wasn't like now the last boss was a beast, but in general, it wasn't like it never felt like I'm never going to beat this boss. But I did take multiple tries. So, but yeah, really good game. That
I,
was a good quarter for Nate. I mean, 2 games above 85, and your other ones
mhm.
like a 76 or something like that. You can't honestly ask for much more. I mean,
Yeah,
his
we'll talk
his counter
we'll
pick stunk.
sure we'll talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, and you got to talk about the counter pick too. Yeah, let's dig in there. I forgot about that. Halo Infinite, the infamous I dare you to counter pick it, Halo Infinite, and boy he did, and he is paying negative 16 on his roster. Now talk about ways he could have scored second place. That was it right there, was to not counter pick Halo Infinite, but he did the
No
deed,
doubt.
and he's gonna pay the crime or pay the fee or whatever you want to
I'm
say.
telling you, the rookie mistakes. Nate and I, we both went big. He went Halo Infinite. I went Psychonauts 2.
Hmm.
Mine was more out of ignorance. I just didn't know enough about Psychonauts 2 and its
Yeah.
following. I just, from what I had seen, wasn't excited about it. Um, I was kind of for him. You going to get at the time that we drafted Halo Infinite, he had every reason to not be confident in it,
Yeah.
but they turned it around. So it's hard to really fault the man. But
Yeah.
yeah, a year ago during the draft, that game was in developmental, toilet.
I
And
remember saying at the draft, I was like, Halo has to be good. Like it must be good. They will pull out all the stops to make it good. And that seems to have happened. So yeah.
yeah,
Okay, moving on. Next up, we've got who is next? Marshall M. Powerful had 3 games released this quarter. His number one round one drafted pick, I believe round one drafted, unless he dropped something else. Back for Blood got him a 76. Call of Duty Vanguard he picked up in the middle of the year, got him a 72, only 2 points there. And then where's the final game? Oh, here it is. Oh yeah, of course, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon dropped a little bit from that 90 that we discussed in the thread the other day. It's down to an 86 right now. It's settled in, still very respectable.
mm.
I've not played a single Shovel Knight game ever. This one looks fantastic as well. So Shovel Knight, Call of Duty, and Back for Blood. Any thoughts about any of these 3 games, Adam?
Well, people love Shovel Knight, so I'm not shocked that it scored well because I had the treasure trove on my Vita. Rest in peace. I sold it.
Mm,
Ugh, I've moved on,
yeah.
but I've moved off. I sold my property on Vita Island. But when they announced the game, it's totally different gameplay. It's like Candy Crush or something. I mean, it's not Candy Crush, but I feel like if I'm remembering right, it was a similar. It looked like a similar game. It may not play that way, but
Okay.
so I'm not surprised that a Shovel Knight game reviewed good. The developers know what they're doing. and people just love it. So there's something that goes with that. So yeah, I mean, not super shocked there. I mean, 90 would have been maybe a little shocking,
Mhm.
but 85, 86 doesn't. The other two, Call of Duty, you just never know what you're going to get. When it comes to Call of Duty review, it's going to have to take something pretty revolutionary to probably have a Call of Duty game score extremely high. It may be
Mhm.
solid, 75, 80, but to go above that would have to be something crazy. So, to a
Right.
degree, if you need a game, you just hope your Call of Duty doesn't go negative because there's a better chance of that happening probably than
Mm.
positive.
Yeah.
And Back for Blood, solid score. I mean, I might have expected a little bit higher, but
Yeah, that was my
still,
counter pick. Actually, it's worth noting. I thought at the time of the draft, I was like, okay, I get the idea. I get the Left for Dead. Love all that. I love Left for Dead, but all the footage I had seen up to that point looked really poor. I thought, and I was like, this game ain't looking like it's in good shape. So I counter picked it. It's kind of half right and half wrong. I would say it really was kind of mediocre at the end of the day, or at least as far as critics are concerned. So yeah, 76 for Back for Blood. All right, moving on. Boomstick Syndicate, 2 games released this quarter, and both of them pretty recent. Chorus here is still kind of settling in with its opening critic score, but I think we got a 74 right now. And Wolfstride, which I knew nothing about before she picked it up, got a 78. Chorus, man, I had my eye on ever since the original Xbox showcase. I think that I want to say that game was a part of that original third party next gen showcase that Xbox had. They were the first ones to kind of come out of the gate with a showcase. I think Chorus was in that. And I remember thinking like, okay, that's one of the ones I want to keep my eye on. And it's still like I still think I might pick it up even with just the 74, maybe on sale or something. But it looks like it's up my alley with the dog fighting, the space dog fight stuff. I like that a lot. So yeah, didn't get Amanda great scores, 74, 78 again for Wolfstride. Any thoughts here about Amanda's roster?
Amanda had probably the most random games on her roster, maybe not
Yeah,
random, but games I've not heard about. Like I've not heard either of these, and
that's
then
her forte, Adam.
we'll get into some of that. But again, some decent scores. Again, if you're gonna have a random game, your odds are you just again you never know with an indie game.
Hmm.
But again, not bad, really not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, for sure. We'll get into a little bit more of Amanda's roster later. But moving on, where'd I go? I lost myself in the dock. Oh, Crystal Cross Games had a couple of games. Eddie rounding out his roster with Riders Republic getting a 78. That was better than I thought it was going to get, honestly. So a shout out to Riders Republic, I guess. And then
Mm-hmm.
Danganronpa S. Let me get the full name. That's not Danganronpa S. Ultimate Summer Camp is what it's called, and that only got him a 59, unfortunately. So negative points there, negative 10. It counted against him in the league. So I mean, not a ton to talk about here for Eddie. Riders Republic, just another Ubisoft game as far as I'm concerned. I see why he grabbed it. I think it was going to get, yeah, I thought it was like guaranteed points for Eddie. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts here. Do you have any thoughts?
78 ain't bad. 78 ain't bad for Riders
No, no, I'm
Republic.
not
I
throwing
never
shade
tried
at it.
it. I thought it for some reason I thought it was going on Game Pass. It never came up to Game Pass, right?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so. For some reason, maybe it was just all the maybe it was like bicycle or Snowbike Mike
Mm,
from kind of funny. He was talking up a lot and he's on the Xbox podcast, so maybe I thought that it was Xbox Game Pass. If it was on Game Pass, I'd probably try it out, but
yeah.
it's not a game that I would buy. I mean, it's got some pretty cool. I mean, you can do like the like wing gliding or whatever it's called. Like, so it's
Right.
got some cool aspects to it, but I think 78 is a pretty good score for again a game that could go either way. Ubisoft game, so I mean I wouldn't be too mad with the 78.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly can't talk being, with my low scores, they're basically at the bottom of the league. So yeah. All right, next up.
Let's be real. I mean, Alex's high score, real quick. Alex's high score, which again I don't know what other scores the champion look like. That's made a lot of scores that would probably normally be pretty solid seem again, Castellano scale of 80 plus. A
Mhm.
78 is really a solid score.
It
But
is.
because Alex's scores were so high, early, it made
Mhm.
a lot of like normally I'd be like, oh, that's great. I mean, in 82, 83, you're like, wow, that's like a really good game. Then you have your few that are like 87, 88, 89. I mean, we only had a handful of those. So, but again, Alex did so good so quickly. It's kind of tainted how we view some of these other games. But 78's a good score.
Just for some historical context there, I went back and looked at the 2020 league. I won that year with 103 points, and we had bigger rosters back then. I think we had one or two more games on our roster. So
So
Alex
yeah.
certainly knocked out of the park. Let me look at 2019 when Eddie won. How many would he have? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. With a 10 roster league, two counter picks, Eddie won with 78 points in
So yeah,
2019. Yeah.
he just had like all time great fantasy season.
Hmm.
This is like Patriots, but he won the Super Bowl. He didn't
Definitely.
go 18-1.
For sure. For sure. All right. The one singular game that came out for Jeff, and this is the last roster we'll look at because Alex didn't have anything come out this quarter. Jeff had Guardians of the Galaxy came out, which boy was just a treat for critics and for everyone. I think. I don't think. I'll be honest. I don't think anyone really. I guess Jeff did thought that this game was going to be too fantastic. It got him an 82, great score, and you and I have both played this game. I had a blast from beginning to end. Really good writing, fun combat, just fun scenarios, and kind of the story and everything. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. What do you think of that game?
It was delightful. I mean, just the story was great. The writing was clever. I've been telling people it feels like you were playing a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and that's what I mean. The combat was fun. I mean, it reminded me a lot of like Final Fantasy VII remake, kind of controlling what some people do on the side instead of swapping to them. You just do it all from Star Lord. But yeah, I mean, we were talking kind of pre-show about top five games. I forget all the games I've played, but that's definitely one of my top five games of the year. I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, really, really, really. We're going to be giving some awards later. If we had like a biggest surprise, that might win my biggest prize because I mean it was
Right.
again maybe it would have been solid, but it's a really good game. It's not just solid; it is really. I think there's going to be some people whose game of the year it might be. I mean,
Right.
it was that good. If you haven't played it and you're interested, it's not Avengers. It is a really good game.
100%. I thought this was Avengers Light, is what I thought when I saw it, and boy was I wrong. Yeah, I echo everything you just said. Just a really great game. I picked it up on sale recently over Black Friday. Good choice. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Guardians of the Galaxy. So Adam, moving on, I think we've pretty much discussed all the games that we've kind of played this quarter or anything. Any other game that kind of took you by surprise other than Guardians, or you want to go ahead and move on to the awards?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. All right. Well, good deal. Well, like I said, we've got a handful of awards we wanted to dish out this year, and a shout out to Adam. This was his brainchild. He was like, "Hey, man, I've got some awards I think we should give out on the show." I'm like, "This is gold. I love this." So we tossed in a few together, and yeah, Adam, I'll kick it to you first for the first award.
Yeah, I love doing these. I did these on the podcast usually, and now that I've kind of stepped away from the podcast, uh, I didn't get to do as much, of course, as much of this, but it's always fun just kind of thinking of funny awards to give people. So, the most valuable game, I got this from the Fantasy Footballers podcast that Micah, you encouraged me to listen to. But
Yeah.
they talk about the most valuable player. It's not necessarily the best player, but it's the value pick. It's the guy who you drafted late that is outperforming. He's really a top player, but you got him late. And so the most valuable game is It Takes Two from Marshall. I mean, that was a game that was drafted, I think, fourth round, maybe fifth round, and it was one of the top games of the year. I mean, top five, six games, I think.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's definite value in that pick, and so again, to get an 80, I think six it was 87 for that game, and to be getting it in the fourth or fifth round, it's not even a pickup. I mean, that's a valuable game that'll help bump your score up a lot. So that's what's got him in the
Yeah.
top 3 or 4.
It was an 89 actually for It Takes
Oh,
Two, so
well,
even
yeah,
more
even
valuable.
again,
Yeah.
even more valuable.
One of the top games of the year. So yeah, next award is the best free agent acquisition. So this is the, after the draft is over, what was the pickup of the year? And we just touched on it. Congratulations to Luke with Forza Horizon 5. You can't argue with the best score of the year, 92.
Mhm.
So yeah, we all knew that a Horizon that a Forza game was going to be coming out. They always come out in November. We thought that it was going to be a Horizon year this year, and I don't know if it just was maybe unannounced at the time. No one seemed to think about it at the draft, but man, as soon as he picked it up and reaped the benefits there.
Well, we were all thinking of the other Horizon game for Ben West, which, as we talk about
True.
this, my 2 top picks didn't even come out this year.
Yeah.
And so that, I mean, Breath of the Wild 2 and Horizon Forbidden West. So what was I even thinking? I mean, of course, Breath of the Wild 2 wasn't going to come out that one. But I mean, I didn't miss Horizon Forbidden West by that much. But anyways, um, the next award is kind of a fun one. It's the Who Did What award, like the game that wasn't really on many people's radars, but had a great score. And so Amanda wins that with Death's Door. I think it kind of came on some radars relatively late once some previews came out, because I definitely had my eye on it. But by the time I went to pick it up, Amanda again really had some rare games with some good scores, and this was the top of the top in that list. I mean, I think it was again. I had the scores, but that was what, an 86, 87 again. Um, and for a game that wasn't on many of our radars, I mean,
Mhm.
that's definitely a what game got an 87?
Yeah, and it was an
So
88. I'm checking here for Death's Door, and I'm actually in the middle of playing that game right now as we speak, and I can vouch for it. Fantastic game. It feels like indie comfort food. Really,
mm,
really well made game. Kind of just I'm smack in the middle of it. I'm enjoying it a lot. So yeah, congratulations to Amanda there. Next one up, Rookie of the Year, and of course we have two newcomers to the league this year, Adam and Nate. We'll get into some more newcomers here toward the end of the show that we'll talk about. But I gotta, hats off, applaud to both you guys. You came out, you represented, you drafted some awesome games, and you gave these other guys in the league who've been doing it for a few years a run for their money, including myself. So hats off, but I can only choose one. And rookie of the year, you got to just say like, well, who just did better? Well, I know I said Nate was currently second place, but I'm calling for it right now. The gunk is gonna get you over the hump. You're gonna take that second place
calling his shot, calling
and
his shot. He's pointing over the fence. He's
and
calling
you're
his Babe
taking the
Ruth home
rookie of the
run.
year. So
Calling his
congratulations,
shot.
Adam. Rookie of the year. You came through, man. You really just took the bull by the horns this year and did the thing.
I just want to give, as I accept this award, I want to thank Alex for his superior strategy sharing for all of us. Couldn't have done it without him. Really give me the idea to shoot for high scores. Just super grateful for that. Mario Party Superstars, appreciate the love at 80 at a late pick. Ace Attorney Chronicles, want to give a shout out to you guys. Lost Judgment, no one gave you any love, and you dropped another 11, 12 point game for me. So just want to give some love to my games who really came through. Screw you, Psychonauts 2. You can go burn. But everybody else, a lot of love.
Fantastic. Adam, I think you have the next award.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was too busy thinking all my games. No. This is the Shaking My Head, the SMH award. This is for the game that when the score comes out, you just kind of shake your head. And there were some contenders. Again, Psychonauts 2 was in that, Halo Infinite for Nate, but
That's right.
the winner has to be Jeff with Balan Wonderland.
Oof.
Somehow it's only technically a negative 15. I don't quite understand this, but the
It's
game's like
prorated, Adam. So like after 10 negative points, it will give you like a half a point for every consecutive or something like that. But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I don't feel like that's the case that happened to me because my game was a negative 19 still. But anyways, that 45, I think is what it was. I mean, that was one that you just can be like, there's no recovery from that. And
Mhm.
that was a tough one for Jeff to swallow pretty early on, I feel like in the year. And that one, I mean, that again, propelling Alex, one of those things of when you're gaining 15 points on a counter pick, again, you're setting yourself up for a really good spot. Just again proves the amazing year that Alex had.
Yeah, 100%. All right, next up, the next award is the Penny Pincher Award, which is the award for, just having that budget left over, man. You don't need the budget
Can't take it
now.
with you.
The year's over, and that goes to Jeff with $22, man. That's almost a quarter of your entire budget of the $100 budget. So yeah, Jeff, man, you got to use that cash if you want the games. You finished last place this year. Better luck next year. Maybe spending some of that fab, as they say in the fantasy football world, will go a little ways for you. So yeah, congratulations to Jeff, the Penny Pincher Award winner.
Next up is the Hopes and Dreams Award. This is for the team that drafted the most games that will not release. I was almost in there,
Yeah.
but the winner for that is a two-way tie for Luke and Jeff with 4 games that did not release this year that were originally picked up on by their teams.
I guess technically you have to give it to Luke because the fourth for Jeff is a counter pick. So technically we need to give that to Luke, I think. He had 4 actually on his roster that he held on to and says, nope, I'm taking these with me to the grave.
Taking these and my $22. And somehow he beat you still.
Yeah, Luke did. Well, yeah, actually, it was Jeff that had the $22, but yeah, Luke did beat me with all these
Oh, you're right.
releases.
You're right.
Yeah, I had all my hopes and dreams, Adam. I had my hopes and dreams in that number 1 pick, Hollow Knight, which never delivered for me. I thought I had a chance today with the indie world, but alas, it wasn't to be. Okay, final award. Best this outside of course winning the league. Congratulations, Alex, once again. That's the last time I'm mentioning it. The best drafter. Now this goes to Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, but this goes to the team who's their top 6 that they drafted on draft day, best points. Is this correct?
Yeah, it was hard to tell because some teams have been dropped. So I kind of looked at the top maybe like 5.
I'm with you.
And kind of did as best as I could. So if you went back and looked at the exact draft, it may not be exactly perfect, but I did the best I could with drops.
I think for this, for the case that we have, I think this is the teams that he drafted. So, but the award goes to, with 57 points for his top 5 games, Nate McKeever. Rookie beatdown games, had a fantastic draft day. It's Bravely Default 2, Near Replicant, Solar Ash, Returnal, Neo, The World Ends With You, getting them all fantastic scores there. So congratulations. Drafter of the year goes to Nate.
Yeah, there's a couple other teams. I mean, Alex, of course, had a good draft. I think Marshall was also up there. I mean, those 3 guys all had really, really strong drafts.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's kind of turn. Let me put my cup down. I'm just holding it like a teddy bear. Let's look ahead to 2022, Adam. We've sort of chopped up all we can with 2021. So let's take a look at some of the top games for 2022. What are essentially going to be, the first round picks for next year, kind of thing. I want to hear kind of what you're excited about. Let's talk about a few of these, and then maybe we'll kind of discuss some of the adjustments we'll have going into next year's league. So we got a list of games here, man. Toss me out something that you're most excited about that you think. Well, no. How about this? Not knowing
4 of these teams are on my roster. Were on my roster.
Well, I was going to say this. I was going to ask this question. Which of these games? I know you don't know who the number 1 who's picking first, but which game do you think will get drafted number 1 overall?
People want to say Elden Ring, but I think if I was the number one pick, I would probably go God of War Ragnarok.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's coming out this year. I'd be shocked if it didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
um, there is a chance either that or even Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, Horizon, we've got that date and it's early in the year. We've got a
Hmm.
date for that one. So I think both of those would be excellent options. And again, Elden Ring is also, so those are probably your top three
Hmm.
uh picks most likely.
Yeah, I think it depends
Unless
on.
it's you would take Hollow Knight,
No, I
unfortunately.
might pick God of War or Elden Ring. There's so many good ones, and another one I was going to toss out here that has a excellent case to be number one overall is Breath of the Wild 2.
Hmm.
One of the greatest reviewed games of all time. Why wouldn't the sequel, be right up there? We think this of God of War, so why not Breath of the Wild? You know,
Breath of the Wild again, we think it's gonna come out, and it should. Nintendo does a
it
pretty good
should.
job. They keep it close to the chest, but again, we've not seen very much of that
Mhm.
game still. Now that doesn't mean, I mean, we've got a whole year still.
Right.
It it's probably a 90% sure it's gonna come out, but
Hmm.
I mean, of games that you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's one that if I was number one, I'm probably taking I know that you know. And
Hmm.
I know I'm gonna get, I know that it's coming out and I know that it's gonna be a good score. And so those other three, I'm a little bit more confident that they're gonna be coming out compared to even Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a
It,
shoe in if it comes out, probably
mhm.
90.
Yeah, yeah. It's really going to be a front loaded year. We got Elden Ring, we got Forza Horizon, excuse me, Horizon Forbidden West, and we've got Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus. This one's going to be kind of a wild card, I think. I
Hmm.
think this one will probably go in the first round. It might fall to the second round, but I think this is a game that could really it could be the Breath of the Wild of the Pokemon franchise and get like a 94.
Yeah.
It could also really fall flat on its face trying new things and get like a 72, or something like that. I see a wide range for Pokemon Arceus.
Well, you gotta
Um,
think the Nintendo bump, whatever they call it. My mind's not,
mhm.
that jump that it gives it just being a Nintendo game. Um, but I'm hopeful. I mean, it's probably the Pokemon game I'm most looking forward to because it's not traditional Pokemon. Not that I'm against them, but I've finished one Pokemon game in my life. And so this is one because it's got that Breath of the Wild open world. They're just kind of out in the wild. I'm eager to see if that game scores well. I'm for sure picking it up. If it's a meh, I don't know if I'll play it. But I
Mhm.
mean, what's the last game that Nintendo first party really swung and missed on? They may
Yeah.
not be knock it out of the park, but they're a
Mhm.
70 minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, you want your first round pick to be better than that,
Yeah.
but you're probably not completely swinging missing
Yeah.
because Nintendo just they take so much care of their first party games. They're not going to let a game come out if it's trash.
Yeah, we've got a few other games on this dock here: Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, Forspoken, Dying Light 2, Stray. Any other games you want to highlight real quick that you're excited about for
I
2022?
mean, you think about little games. Sports Story is going to be that game. The original Golf Story was a ton of fun.
Hmm.
Just a darling of a game. I mean, and I expect Sports Story to be just as good. So I would expect a solid review out of that, a review score. Um, I am excited. Again, just some games that I drafted that I'm excited about. That's some of what I like the most about getting to do this league is most of the games a lot. Well, I can't say most because I think it's some of them like okay, maybe not, but a lot of the games I drafted, I'm excited about. Dying Light 2, loved
Right.
the first one. Stray, that's probably my most anticipated game. It's going to be just so random playing as a cat.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks awesome. Like
Hmm.
I love the preview that they gave. I don't remember what gameplay preview or whatever it was. Like I'm really excited about that. So, and again, Sony first party doesn't miss too often. And I guess it's not first party; it's Annapurna, but it's
Yeah.
exclusive.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Sony exclusives don't miss too much either. And so I think that is going to be a solid game. And Annapurna is a great developer. So
Yeah.
that one's got a lot of high hopes. So I'm not as big on Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights. I need to see more.
Hmm.
Forspoken looks like it could be solid.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, of the ones that we mentioned, those are some of the ones that I'm personally really excited for. I mean, it is a loaded year.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it's gonna be. I
this
was.
year was a great year. This year was a great year, and 2022 is looking like just as good of a year. And so I'm excited. I think probably the thing I'm most excited about next year, though, if I'm being honest, is the Steam Deck, man.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
a game, but we're talking about 2022 things to be excited for.
Sure.
I'm getting one, and I don't need it. I ain't got time for more games, but I love technology, and so I'm in the second round of people getting it. So as long as it reviews well and I can do Game Pass on it, I am down. And so
100%.
that's probably one of the things that, again, just exciting new tech. That's
Mhm.
a video game again, not a game, but some of these games I might even get to play on there. So it's exciting to get to
Yeah.
play some of these on some new tech.
Yeah, 100%. All right. As we begin to land the plane here, I wanted to go over just a couple of rules changes, sort of as things are solidifying here. We're gonna do we got a special treat here. We'll get to in just a minute. We're going to for the first time, I'm going to live on the air. I've got the Magic Sonic the Hedgehog Cup, and those in the league know that it is time for the draft order for 2022. So we'll be doing that here in just a moment. But first, a couple of rules changes for next year. We're going to be keeping, excuse me, I'll get to that in a second. We're going to be getting rid of remakes from being rostered. It was just a too much of a nebulous how does this qualify, how will this one get tagged if it was a remaster or a remake or whatever. So we decided we're going to let that sort of wash out as they get the tag sorted out, which they've already started doing a little bit, and we'll wait on those for this year. And then the other one was that we're going to be able to drop any two games that we want to. Before it was a weird stipulation about one that will release and one that won't release. Now we're just saying just a flat, you can drop any two games you want to, doesn't matter the reason. If you don't want it, drop it. Really clear cut and simple. So those are the two main changes we're making to the league. And then
Well,
last thing,
keeper.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, and keepers too. Pardon me.
That's
Yes.
the best change we're
I should
making.
have I should have made notes here. Thank you. It would have come out in the thread. I just forgot it here on the video. Yeah. So starting in 2022, you will be able to keep one game and carry it over to 2023 if it doesn't release. So a perfect example for me would be Hollow Knight Silk Song, a number one drafted pick. I would want to keep that game and carry it over most likely and lock that in. So what I would do is I would trade that out with my number one draft pick of the 2023 year or 2022 year if it was Hollow Knight, but you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. So yeah, we're gonna start instituting keepers. So we can keep
And
one game over to the following year if you felt like that's just your baby and it didn't release. So we're gonna institute that. So yeah, appreciate
well,
that,
this
Adam.
the good thing about that is even doing the draft order now, it will give, and even next year, because you'd want to do the draft around this time, because say you're the number 10 pick and you've got Silk Song on your roster, that's a high value keeper
Correct.
because it would totally be gone by then. But
Yep.
say you pull the number 2 or 1 pick overall, then you're kind of got a question. Okay, do I want to keep it? Because I could be getting Breath of the Wild 2, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, Elden Ring. I could get one of those 4 games instead of Hollow Knight, which is potentially going to score better. So it's not just a dead
Right.
giveaway that for sure you keep them. If you get a better draft position than you think your keeper is potentially worth, then it's worth saying, okay, do I keep this? Do I not? So
Yeah.
I think I love the idea of the rule because there maybe is a way that we can manipulate it. Someone can manipulate, but honestly, if you have a bunch of games that don't score, you're only hurting yourself that year. And so it's not advantageous just to have a bunch of games that aren't going to release because you want them for next year and you only get to keep one of them.
Right.
So, and you're losing your first round pick. So I
Mhm.
think it's a very balanced addition to the league. and it's a cool ripple. Again,
Yeah.
we'll have to talk about how we implement that. If it's not in the league implement like in the system yet, and we
Right.
can do that easily. It's pretty much just making sure everyone's aware of it. But I'm excited about the idea of keeper. I think it's going to be. I love keeper fantasy football leagues.
Yeah.
So a fantasy critic keeper league has me just as excited.
100%. 100%. Okay, I think that wraps up all the rule changes. I'm going to be I'm writing up the rules doc for our new members mainly, and kind of any just changes we're going to be having. And I'll send that out in the thread probably in the within the next 7 days of when this is being recorded on the 15th. And so yeah,
Let's make sure we don't tell them any Alex Castellanos strategy. Let's
absolutely.
make the especially before the draft.
Yeah.
let's make them aim for 70s or
There you
70.
go. There you go. But with that said, I've talked to of course Adam about it, and I've talked to a couple other people in the league about it. But as everyone know, Logan Sharp, our fearless leader of TRG, is planning on joining us for the 2022 year. So we're going to be welcoming him into the league, and also we're going to be welcoming in Josh Broccolo, co-host of the Backlog Breakdown with Nate. I was able to hop on an episode recently over there, and we got to talking about it, and he got really excited. So me and Nate were like, hey, you should join us. And he was like, okay. So we're gonna bump up our members from 9 members to 11. And yeah, we're going to keep the same roster size. We're going to keep the same 6 games that we're going to draft on draft day. One counter pick, all that's going to stay the same. We're just going to have a little bit more competition, a little bit more scrapping on the waiver wire for bidding and all that
Hmm.
sort of stuff. So yeah, welcome to Logan and Josh.
I
And so
wonder. I'm going to fill this out now. We can maybe discuss it in the thread. I'm wondering if because of the additional people, if we maybe draft one less team because we may not be quite aware of all the games coming out that early.
mhm.
So because if you think that's 66 games. That's a lot of games to be drafting that early.
Yeah,
So I
I
wonder
was
almost if in the maybe the same roster size because that allows for pickups. I think there's plenty of games to pick up by the time we get to the end of the year. But maybe drafting early, maybe we drop the drafting down to 5 and
well,
we
the
say,
only
hey,
thing is
let's get
about dropping it down to 5. I was talking to Alex a little bit today about it. Is they would mess up the snake draft, and you want the number one person to be finishing, so it needs to be an even number, 4, 6, or 8. But either way, I think it would still work fine. That was a concern though, Adam, and if that continues to be a concern or other people have that concern, we can talk about that and voice it in the thread. But I think it'll still be enough games out there, and it'll give us a chance to maybe
sure,
take a chance on
sure.
some games that we're not so sure about.
Take your
So Adam, are
time.
you ready to see the draft order for 2022?
You got screwed me last year. You can't give me any worse draft spot. I was last draft pick last year.
Okay, well let me get my hand and cup here on camera so there's no fishy business going on. So here we are. Number 1 overall pick goes to Amanda. Amanda is number 1.
A tough spot for her because she's going to want to pick a random game and she's going to feel
Oh,
compelled to.
goodness, we'll have to see how it goes. All right, number 2 overall pick goes to Marshall. Congratulations, Marshall, number 2. All right, next up, I'm doing this off camera. I need to bring it up here so you guys can see.
Mm,
Not looking.
we trust you, Micah, for the most
All right,
part.
next up, there you are, Adam, number 3. Number 3rd. Oh, that's a good spot to be in, I think. Not bad, not bad.
Take it.
Okay, number 3. Here
I
we
guess it's
go.
one of the big 4.
All right, number 4 overall pick. Remember, we have 11 total to get through. So number 4, it's Alex Castellanos, number 4.
Ooh, I can't wait to steal. I can't wait to steal the pick that he wants right from under his nose. Couple
Oh,
times. I'm gonna do it a couple times.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, number 5, Nate McKeever. Congrats, Nate. Number 5.
That's gonna be what 3 or 4 of the top of our leagues in the top 5 draft picks. Me,
Yeah.
Nate, Marshall, and Alex. I think that's the top 4 right now, all in the top 5.
All right, number 6, I think. It's me, Micah. Number 6, right behind Nate. Oh, so now, but Nate, he's gonna get Hollow Knight over me. Gah! I'm just realizing this
Right, Nate, go for it.
live on the air. He said he was gonna take it from me if he had a higher draft pick, and he's one. I was one ahead of him last year, and he's one ahead of me. So karma. All right, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seventh is Jeff. Jeff Walford is 7th. Man, the new guys are going to be at the end. They're going to be real
I'm telling
sad.
you, it's only fair. Nate
it's
and
a
I were
curse.
pretty far down last year.
All right, was this number 8?
Somebody, some order, some number.
We got Luke. Luke at number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, number 8. All right. Just a few more. I think it was.
Oh, it'd be so good if Logan got last like I did.
And Logan. All right, here we go. This is number 9. It's Logan. Logan's number 9. Okay, right behind Luke. And I think it's going to be Eddie or Josh. The number 10 pick is Josh Broccolo, number 10, which means Eddie is at the turn at 11, which ain't a bad spot to be in. I think Eddie knows that. Eddie knows that. Josh and Logan, who could technically be considered at the turn a little bit, that is not a bad spot to be in, because that means you get your first pick and you come right back and get your second pick. Right,
it didn't cash out for me. It didn't cash out for me this year, but I mean that resulted in Breath of the Wild and Horizon Forbidden West.
Right.
If those games would have, I mean, that's
100%. Yeah.
Especially, I mean, this is even different to some degree than like fantasy football, where those games, if they come out, should hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of if they come out. And in fantasy football, you don't know because injuries and things like that. But here, I guess not coming out as a type of injury in Fantasy Critic, but I mean, it's not bad getting those 2 picks back to back, because you can get, because that's a third of your picks.
Right.
You're getting that early.
Right. Yeah, this is true. So yeah, quick recap. Number 1, Amanda. Number 2, Marshall. Number 3, Adam. Number 4, Alex. Number 5, Nate. Number 6, Micah. Number 7, Jeff. Number 8, Luke. Number 9, Logan. Number 10, Josh. And number 11, Eddie. Excuse me, I had a burp welling that whole time, so I'm glad that was. I'm sure all you wanted to hear that. All right, Adam, man, that's all we have for this edition of the Dear Critics Review, man. Thank you for hopping on the mic and giving me about an hour of your time tonight.
Hey, I have spent too much time this year looking at Open Critic. I've spent too much time checking out games that potentially could be coming out, but it has been a joy. Like I was just telling my wife about it. I'm like this has been a ton of fun. Like I don't know. I mean, again, I love talking about video games, even though I had to step back from the TRG podcast. I mean, I love talking video games and cutting it up with you guys. It's like through the league, I've got even closer to some other people from TRG that I wasn't always as close to.
Right.
And so it's been cool just getting to be a part of it. I'm glad I jumped in this year. 2 years ago, you asked me, and for whatever reason, I wasn't able. I think it was just mainly a timing thing. I couldn't do the draft. Mm-hmm. But this year, I mean, I'm glad I got to be a part of it. And this is a quarterly thing we do. I can't go starting another podcast when I just told Logan I need to step away from TRG. But I mean, there's stuff you could almost talk about weekly with the stuff, because it's just a lot of fun. I mean,
yeah. I think that's
we all enjoy.
Yeah, that's the unique nature of it. It's this year-long thing, so it's a bit more relaxed. Yeah, the draft is it's my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite part about the whole thing is doing the draft. But it's still just fun to just the way we chop it up in the thread, and it's not a crazy active thread. I think it's just like the right amount of active. And
because it's around when games come out usually. That it just prompts. It's an outlet to discuss. Mm-hmm. Video games instead of doing it necessarily on Facebook or something like that. It's just another avenue with some lights, trash talking and things like that. It's just it's 100%. Another way just to respond and react to showcases or video game scores that come out. It's a fun outlet to kind of just view some of these things.
Yeah, and these videos that I release every quarter is part of that. I want to engage with you guys, and really, kind of going forward 2022 and beyond, I'm all ears for ways that we can mix this show up. If we want to do it, if we feel like we want to do it more often, we can look at doing that. If we want to, pass it around to where I'm not doing it every time or something like that, we can maybe talk about that. There's all sorts of things we can do. So yeah, I'm all ears for any sort of ways to make the league funner. That's what it's all about, is having fun, having the fellowship with each other, and yeah, enjoying the hobby together. So, yeah.
It's cool. A cool thing about fantasy football is it makes you care about players and teams in games that you would never care about. And this does a level of that also. Again, how many times when I was on TRG was I talking about games? People are like, why are you even talking about that? It's not my team. I'm
Yeah.
following games. I'm following other people's games. It expands kind of to, I mean, again, it's nothing really, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it does keep us looking and watching at games that I would have never otherwise even cared about. And we find out about other games that I probably might have never even heard about if it wasn't for the league. So it's cool how these things just bring out just more information, and it's just fun. So
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to get to be a part of it again. And I'm going to give you my little strategy next year. I'm aiming for 82s. And so I'm going to tell
Hey,
Alex 82 and
groundbreaking strategy here from Adam. All right, we'll see if it works out for you in the upcoming draft, man. Again, thank you for hopping on the mic. And guys, we'll be talking a bunch here in the next, probably 15 to 20 days as we start to try to nail down the draft time for next year.
We got to do it early, man. We can't wait. We can't mess around too much. It's really got to be.
No, I'm looking like for real, like either the last week of December, first week of January, that kind of thing. Again, we can talk dates and specifics, in the thread, but yeah, I want to get it done as soon as possible. So yeah, thanks everyone. Great year. Congratulations, Alex. And we'll see you next time.